Did you know Jesus celebrated Hanukkah, not Christmas? Yeah, Hanukkah. John tells us Jesus walked in Solomon's portico. This is John 10, during the Feast of Dedication. So what does that reveal about him, about Jewish identity, and whether Christians should celebrate Hanukkah today? The answer may surprise you and challenge some assumptions. So let's get into it. Hey, I'm Mark Bates. This is Rabbit Room Apologetics, and the subject today is Jesus and Hanukkah, celebration, significance, and Christian observance. Okay, so when did Jesus celebrate Hanukkah? Well, Jesus celebrated Hanukkah during the Feast of Dedication, which took place in Jerusalem in winter. This is recorded in John 10, 22 and 23. Then came Hanukkah in Jerusalem. It was winter, and Yeshua, Jesus, was walking in the temple in the portico of Solomon. This feast is also called the Feast of Dedication, or the Feast of Lights, beginning on the 25th of Kislev, roughly late November, early December timeframe, typically. The significance of Hanukkah. Hanukkah commemorates the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem in 164 BCE, after the Maccabean revolt against the Seleucid Empire led by Judah the Maccabee. The temple had been desecrated by Antiochus IV, who also was called Epiphanes, who imposed pagan worship and outlawed Jewish practices. The Maccabees restored the temple and purified it. The holiday lasts 8 days, symbolizing the miracle of the oil that lasted 8 days, despite there being only enough consecrated oil for 1 day, as recorded in rabbinic tradition. It is a national and religious commemoration of Jewish survival, resistance to forced assimilation, and God's providence in preserving his people and temple worship. So, should Christians observe Hanukkah? Well, there's some arguments for observance. Jesus himself was present at the Feast of Dedication, which suggests a recognition of its importance. Hanukkah is seen as a celebration of God's work in preserving his people and the temple, which aligns with biblical themes of redemption and dedication. For messianic believers, like me, celebrating Hanukkah can be a way to connect with Jewish roots and honor the historical faithfulness of God. It is comparable to a national holiday, like the American 4th of July. And I know a lot of American churches celebrate the 4th of July, commemorating a significant historical victory, but specifically here with very strong religious overtones. And observing Hanukkah can be spiritually edifying. It leads to rededication to God and recognition of Jesus, Yeshua, as the light of the world. There are some considerations and cautions here. Hanukkah is not a biblical feast mandated in the Torah, Leviticus 23, but an extra biblical celebration based on historical events recorded in the Apocrypha, specifically 1st and 2nd Maccabees. Some Messianic and Christian groups caution against elevating Hanukkah above the birth of Messiah Yeshua, or Jesus, right? Jesus Christ, as using it as a replacement for Christmas. I agree that we shouldn't elevate this holiday, but we also need to remember that Christmas is not a biblical holiday either. And I've spent several videos giving you the best possible biblical date when Jesus was born. Okay? So Christmas is not about the birth of Christ as much as it's a great time for a giant community, the Christian community, to get together, celebrate the coming of Christ into the world, his role in providing salvation to all mankind, and for us to celebrate. It's a wonderful holiday. I enjoy Christmas, but let's not take it above what it is, right? It's not his birthday. We're celebrating his entrance into the world separately, right? And that's great. And no, Hanukkah should never replace Christmas. But Hanukkah is certainly one that Christians, especially in these days, can certainly get behind, because it's the government trying to kill the religious practices of the people, and the people rebelling against that and reinstituting their religious practices against the will of the tyrannical government, right? And that's worldwide. We're seeing that in Europe, in Africa, especially in many of the Arab majority countries, right, where they're coming down on Christian worship, and even in America, we're seeing a lot of that. So Hanukkah is a great time for us to get together and say, yes, we will not allow the government to tell us not to celebrate our God. Okay? Hanukkah has, of course, been subject to commercialization. So has Christmas. So it's like, yeah, that's not a reason not to celebrate Hanukkah. And sometimes it loses its original focus on worship and dedication to God. And trust me, Christmas has definitely lost most of that for a great deal of people who don't even claim to be Christian but celebrate Christmas for some reason. Okay? There is spiritual tension between celebrating Hanukkah, which emphasizes resistance to assimilation and faithfulness to God, and Christmas, which some view as synchronistic or non-biblical. I think I've addressed that, but you know, people can understand that, but I see no reason that you can't celebrate both, because there are great reasons to celebrate both. So Christians should approach Hanukkah with an attitude that glorifies God, fosters unity, and maintains proper perspective on the centrality of Christ or Yeshua in our lives. So, quick summary. Jesus celebrated Hanukkah, known as the Feast of Dedication, in Jerusalem during winter. The holiday commemorates the Maccabean victory and the rededication of the temple, symbolizing God's faithfulness and the survival of the Jewish people. And obviously without that, you would not have Christ, so just keep that in mind. Christians, especially messianic believers, may find spiritual value in observing Hanukkah as a time of rededication and remembrance of God's providence, following Jesus' example. If Christ can celebrate Hanukkah, we can follow along with Christ and celebrate it as well. However, it is important to recognize Hanukkah as an extra biblical celebration and not to elevate it beyond the biblical feasts or the central message of Christmas, as we should be celebrating it, not as an anniversary of Christ's birth, but of his coming into the world and providing redemption to mankind. Okay? That's what Christmas is all about. And observance should be done with a focus on worship, unity, and honoring Christ or Yeshua as the light of the world. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. If you haven't done so, think about subscribing to this channel. Definitely think about liking and sharing this video with others. And if you look into the description, you'll find 2 links. One link on there is for my biblical study site. It's $10 a month. You get all the videos along with full transcription, so you can follow along and dig deep. Also, there's a ton of other videos and coursework in there that I've developed out to help you get better at your theology, your study of God, right? That's what theology means. So you can hear God's message better and clearer and interpret it yourself. And so that's there. The biggest thing on the platform, besides the videos and the coursework I put up there, is the fact that it provides an opportunity for you to ask questions. There is a forum on there. You can ask questions. You can answer people. You can provide your feedback. We want to hear your opinions as well. So please, it's all there. It's a great community for us to work with. The second link is a discount if you don't have Logos Bible Study software. It's the best software out there that I know of. I've been using it for over 25 years. Definitely check it out. You get a small discount, and it's well worth it. And it's not that expensive to get on the subscription plan on Logos now. So think about that. Thank you very much. Have a great time, everyone, and be blessed.